Yo YouTube, what is up? What is poppin'? It's about Kayle from Preseason back at again with a small little preseason guide. You know, people ask me, Lucas, what build do I go on Kayle? What runes do I take? I just want to quickly go over the runes and the items that I think are the best for Kayle. I think mainly AD Kayle will be the playmaker this season, at least so far. You know, it's preseason, like everything can still change. So in case something changes, I will let you guys know, obviously with a new video. But we're gonna start with the build. It's basically the same as last season for the AD builds. We have 3 different AD builds. We have the AD Chinese one, we have the AD versus HP stacking one, which I think will be mainly the build, and then obviously we have the classic AD crit build. Let's start with the AD Chinese build. Obviously we start with the Kraken Slayer in pretty much every single build. However, if you play against a AP lane, okay, this is mostly for top lane. I don't really build AD much mid lane, right? Because if I play Kayle mid lane, then we have almost all the time a AD top laner, mostly a AD jungler. So you know, I obviously don't want to give my team full AD, so I go AP obviously, right? So this is mainly for top lane. Obviously you can go these builds in mid lane as well. However, I think in mid lane AP works best. Okay, so AD Chinese build. Obviously if you play into a AP champ, you want to rush Woods End. You know, Kayle has the second lowest base amount with 22 in the game, so you definitely want to have some sort of magic resist, or you're gonna get one tapped by literally everything. Okay, so we have the Wits End first into AP. If not, then just Kraken Slayer first. I think Kraken Slayer is by far the best mythic this season. Obviously, we play against a lot of tank champions, a lot of bruiser champions that all have lots of HP. So obviously, true damage from Kraken Slayer is just insane. Same goes for Riftmaker, by the way. But I will get to this in a second. So, Kraken Slayer, by far the best mythic so far for Kayle. You know, Wits End. Third item, Servitor's Grudge. You already know the AD Chinese build from Zhao Jiameng, the rank 1 player on the Chinese super server. And then pretty much whatever you need, right? If you need shield destruction or whatever you want to call it, reduction. Serpent's Fang, really great item. You know, you can basically just fit anything into this build. I usually like going a bit of lifesteal. I definitely want to try, I haven't tried actually, I definitely want to try a Hydra into this build, so that's something definitely you can try. You know, you can get more sustain, you can go Bloodthirster and Infinity Edge to get the 60% crit chance. You can also get more attack speed if you're comfortable with that. You know, Phantom Dancer is a great item. You can also try, let's say you play against an AP champ, but the enemies also have like 2 tanks, then obviously you can also just go Borg 4th item. Obviously it works, you know. So that's this build. Then we have the build versus tanks. You can either start with Kraken Slayer or Borg. You know, I think it's I think Kraken Slayer is a bit stronger. You know, if you like to have a bit of sustain, then you can definitely just go for Blade of the Rune King first and then just opt into a Kraken Slayer. So that's the build, Kraken Slayer Borg with Sarita's 3rd. You can also try Phantom Dancer 3rd. I've tried that, works also pretty well. And then Sarita's 4th. And then last item, you know, Infinity Edge, most likely to get the 60% crit chance. Yeah, or, you know, QSS, lifesteal, whatever you need. And then obviously, you know, the classic AD crit build, Kraken, PD, Infinity Edge. Or you can also just opt for, you know, anything, basically. All the AD items are really good. Hydra, you can try. Servitor's Grudge, Bloodthirster. Anything, basically. I think these are the best builds, especially for top lane, you know, because in top lane you play mostly against tanks, you play against bruiser champions who literally all have at least 3,000 or 4,000 HP. So, I think these are the builds to go for mid lane. Obviously, we still have the AP build. Normal AP build, honestly, I think the best thing you can do is either go a Wits End into Nashor's Tooth if you play against AP champ. I always think, I think Nashor's Tooth first is something you should not really do unless you play against a AD champion in mid lane. I think then it's fine. Otherwise, you know, you mostly play against mages. Wits End first. Trust me, you need it. Then I've also tried going Riftmaker second and going Nash's third. It worked quite well, you know, if you want a bit of more sustain. I think this build makes a bit more sense right now, you know, because of all the HP stackers. We also have the Rod of Ages, which you shouldn't go, by the way. I think it's, yeah, it's not really good for Kayle. Yeah, that was my phone. Anyway, try out Wit's End with Riftmaker into AP. You know, the true damage will help a lot. It's kind of nice. Nothing else really changed, you know. Death Cap, still a great item. Zonias, Void Stuff, Lichbane, you know the deal. Nothing really changed. I haven't tried the AP comment build, so I can't really tell you guys how this one feels. And I've only went for the AP Chinese build in top lane once. It's not bad, but yeah, stick to normal AP in mid lane with Wit's End. I think that works fine. I also tried Wit's End with Nash's Tooth, Riftmaker, and then fourth item Borg, because we were playing against a lot of tanks. And that was also really, really nice, so that's also something you can try. And for runes, obviously, we still have pretty much the same runes as last season. I use 2 different pages, mostly. We have page number 1, which is pretty much the same page as always, right? MR and Armor, depending on who you play against. Lethal Tempo, obviously. Triumph is a good rune. I think Presence of Mind works really well in some matchups, you know, where you can't really utilize the Triumph. You know, let's say you play into a poke lane like Gragas or whatever, then, you know, getting a bit of extra damage, a bit of extra mana for your Qs and Ws is really helpful. I also think Overheal is going to be way better this season, right? Because of all the sustain items you can build, you know, Hydra is definitely a good item, and I'm also going to do a video on that, so that will come in the next few days. Unfortunately, my editor cannot edit for me anymore, so I have to either find a new editor or just do it myself. We'll see, but there will be one very, very shortly. And then obviously Alacrity is still good into CC. Tenacity, you know, point and click CC, like Twisted Fate, like Pantheon in these matchups, you just want to go Tenacity. Last Stand is a good option. However, if you play against a top lane tank champ, guys, Cutdown is so insanely worth this season. Like, the amount of damage you deal with Cutdown against tanks, it's just crazy, you know? I was playing against a Cho'Gath with like 7,000 or 8,000 HP. You already have like 50 or like 100 extra damage. It's really crazy. So Cutdown, if you see, they have like 1 or 2 tanks, really, really strong. Yeah. For second page, also, I've tried Fleet Footwork in a few matchups. I still think Fleet is pretty decent, especially in mid lane against all these Hulk mages like Victor, you know, Vel'Koz and Xerath, Orianna, Azir, you know, in these matchups, Fleet is really, really nice. For second page, I mostly run Resolve Tree with Conditioning Overgrowth. If they have lots of CC, I also like to change to Unflinching with Conditioning. If they have Poke in mid lane, you know, or I'm planning to play really aggressive throughout the lane, then I'm also opting for Second Wind, because, you know, it's just insanely valuable. If I play against engaged champions with all-in potential, then I still think Bone Plating works really, really well. People also ask me if I still go Sorcery Tree. I think Sorcery still works. I think it's just really greedy, right? Because they're all so tanky, and you just get one-shot by everything. So you can still run Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm in 3 lanes. However, I think, you know, with this meta, it's just best to opt for more defensive stats with a bit of extra HP and conditioning. People also ask me, oh, Lucas, isn't going Overgrowth and Cutdown kind of, it doesn't really have a synergy? Yeah, but bro, you get like, what, 120, 150, 200 HP maximum. And if you play against a tank that has 4,000 more HP than you, then it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, you know, that's basically it. I don't run anything else. I've tried one game with like Idle Collection, Treasure Hunter, and mid lane. I think it's too greedy and situational, so mostly guys just opt for, you know, Conditioning Overgrowth. It's the safest route. PTA obviously in short trade lanes, mostly in mid lane. You know, if you play against like a LeBlanc, you know, you can't really utilize your lethal tempo, then obviously PTA for short trades. lethal tempo for long trades. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comment section down below what build you have found most success with so far. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out, guys. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. As always, check out the live streams, twitch.tv/Kayle_1v9. Kayle Squad, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, and peace.